everyone. This is Barbara Howard, and welcome to my podcast. Today is March the 17th, 2021, and this is episode number 11. So today is St. Patrick's Day. For all of you who enjoy that day as a holiday, I want to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. Today is, in my family, we have birthdays. Seven people in my family have birthdays today. So I guess that makes us pretty lucky. And a newborn, a baby was born today. So yay. So we have a lot to celebrate today. I hope you are having a wonderful time if you're listening to it today. All right. So I want to mention a couple of things. Of course, my website is at barbarahowardmedia.com. I have paused my newsletter for a short season while I revamp some things, but you can still sign up for it. And it's the Insider Circle, where I give out the first chapters of any projects that I have going out, and also I give away copies of books from other authors as well. So right now that's on pause. So, I'm doing some things behind the scenes to make things more effective and productive and responsive. So there is that. And some other housekeeping. If you're interested in an autographed copy of a book, I can do it one of two ways. If you're local, we could work out something here in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I am. Or I can mail a book plate to you, which is like a sticker. And I can sign it and I can just mail it to you, and you can adhere that inside the cover of, on the title page of the book that you have. So either way will work. Just let me know. You can send me an email. The contact information is on my website. Again, that's at barbarahowardmedia.com. And I'd be more than happy to autograph a book to you or whomever. I sent out 20 copies of A Day with the Animals to the American Literacy Corporation. And I'm so excited that those books are in their hands right now. They're going to be giving those away. If you're not familiar with their organization, please go to their Facebook page, because they have adults reading every day. It's 365 days a year. And they've increased I think the number of readers, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I know that they were expanding because everyone wants to participate in that. And it's a wonderful organization. So anyway, that's done. The other thing is the audiobook for Charlotte's Revenge is in production right now. So that's book 2. We're moving along. So hopefully by the end of this month, probably by the end of this month, we should be finished with that. And then we move on to book 3. The anthology that's coming out in the holiday season, which will be October, November, December. I think the release will be in December, but at any rate, it's going to be at the end of this year. I do have a little spin-off story that's going to be included in that. I'll give you more information on that as time progresses. I would love your feedback, though. I have the option of doing a spin-off story based on Randall and Tracy or on Milo and Jules. So if you've read all 3 of the Finding Home series, let me know which couple you would like more. It's not going to be a long drawn out mystery, but it is going to be a cozy mystery, and it's about 8,000 words. So it's a short story, but yeah, let me know who you'd like to see more of. Speaking of that, speaking of audiobooks, I do have a 5-minute clip that I'm going to share at the end of this of A Day for the Animals. And then on my next podcast, I'll do a 5-minute clip from Final Harvest. So I'm going to try to incorporate some of the narrators that have been working on these projects with me. And also that'll give you a little taste of, what the story is about as well, or at least to beat the first 5 minutes of it. So there's that. All right, so what I want to talk about today is, as you know, I love to study craft and hear what the experts have to say or read up on, not only publishing, but plotting and character development and resonance and anything you can imagine. I love to hear what everyone has to say about how they handle the writing process. And there was a very successful screenwriter who talked about his need for unfocused time. And I thought, well, that sounds pretty simple. Sit and do nothing. It was very simple until I tried it. Like, how do you do nothing when there's so much to do? And if you have a regular job, or even if you're retired, if you have children, or if you don't have children but you're active socially, or you're, tutoring children, or just whatever you have going on, it just seems like there's not enough time to do nothing, to do absolutely nothing. Most of the time, we're planning ahead on things that we're going to be doing days, weeks, months ahead, months later, and we're trying to get ahead of the game by planning everything out now. But unfocused time was the key to being able to be extremely creative when the time came to write. So I think what stood out to me on that was when they were asking, how are you so successful at what you do, and how do you get, all of this work done? His response was, the most important thing was when he did nothing. So when he did have his writing time, when it was time to sit down and focus on developing a story or editing or whatever it was, whatever the task at hand was for that day, he was extremely efficient in getting the work done. Everything flowed. The ideas came. The corrections were easy to complete. Anything that had to be torn down and rebuilt, he was able to do it with ease. It was just a very simple process once he could focus on the writing. But the key was he had spent 24 hours doing nothing. And I thought about that because I'm a quilter. I like to buy beautiful fabric, cut it up into little pieces, rearrange it, and sew it back together. But in the design of the quilt, there has to be a space for your eyes to rest. Otherwise, it just looks like chaos. There has to be a symmetry to it. There has to be an alignment that makes sense to the eye, but there has to be a space somewhere in this chaos of color where your eyes can rest. Sometimes it's the border. Sometimes it's the back. No, but typically there is something that lets you pause and then resume viewing the rest of the design. And it's that way when writing conflict. You can't have characters constantly bickering or fighting or arguing or running here and there and falling into one bit of trouble and then coming out and jumping back in more trouble. It can't be a constant. It will wear you out. It'll wear out the reader, and they will lose interest. So there has to be a place, even in the story, where things rest. It doesn't mean that there's nothing that's moving the plot forward. It just means that you can't have this constant, steady, non-stop drumming away of conflict. So it made sense at so many levels that it's important to have a time to pause, to stop, to reflect, to let everything fall down and then pick it back up and continue working on it. But you have to at least give it a space of time where you don't have your hands on it anymore. Most people that I know that are writers will get that first draft done and then put it down and walk away. Literally just totally walk away from the whole thing and say, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to think about it. And then after, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, and then pick it back up again and read back through it, and with a fresh eye and a fresh mind. And at that point, they can find the plot holes, they can find inconsistencies in point of view, they can find all types of problems with it easier than if they had kept pushing away at it continuously. So unfocused time is the watchword for me this month, well, what remains of the month of March, to make sure that I carve out time to not focus on anything of writing, publishing, social media. Just put everything down for a while and then come back, which is going to be fun because now it's spring and I can work in my garden more, and things are starting to sprout, and I'm excited about that. So more time outside as well. And after 2020 of being cooped up inside most of the time, unfocused time outside sounds like heaven. Well, let me go ahead and get this audio clip queued up for you. Again, it's from the children's book, A Day for the Animals. You can find out more about all of my books and all of my links to my social media as well at my website at barbarahowardmedia.com. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you again real soon, and stay tuned for this clip. Well, let me do a better job of setting up this clip, okay? Roger Grayson has exited the church after a Sunday school lesson where he got in trouble, and he was not paying attention to what the teacher was telling him. He's outside now with his best friend talking about what just happened.
Let me and my father have a good day today. That's all I said. Stupid making a wish like that, huh? Sounds like a prayer to me. Nathan pedaled away along the gravel pathway between the church and the Frostbite Dairy. Several children from the class were standing around slurping on melting popsicles while their parents chatted near the cars. Roger could see light purple and green stains on some of the boys' white shirts. He shivered, not from noticing the popsicles, but because he remembered what Mrs. Maypore always said. God answers every prayer. What if Nathan was right? What if it really was a prayer and not a wish? And God answered it. That would be even worse, Roger thought, because he had not told his friend the whole truth. Oh, that would make things much worse.